SeaChange is the biggest change I have ever seen in a company of our size in our business. This change will be fundamental to everything we do. It started out 5 years ago as how do we exit Forest Park because of the issues that we have there with noise and environment. But the more we looked at it, the more we realized that it was an opportunity to reconfigure the business.
Dictionary definition is a notable and structural transformation, and that's exactly what it is. It's a transformation at the end of the day of the way we think, the way we do business, the sense of urgency. It's a cultural transformation.
It's a company that's been around for over 80 years. It has an enormous amount of respect in the marketplace. It has a history unlike any other independent engine provider out there. But we recognize that in the future, things are going to be different. And so we wanted to make sure that if we were going to make a change, it was going to be a change that would last for the next, 60 to 80 years. So that's what SeaChange is, evolved into for us, and it's been a very exciting time for us.
The physical moves of the plant, which seem to be the most complex and daunting, at the end of the day, that's just a piece of it. To me, SeaChange is about people. People do things for people.
We took a lot of time and effort in looking at various ways and means that we could better serve customers, and from that evolved what I would encompass SeaChange under, which is the total transformation of Dallas Airmotive. We're going to go over a period of about 24 to 36 months from the vast majority of our workforce conducting their service in old World War II type facilities to where we will have everything we do generally in either completely refurbished or brand new facilities. That itself creates an opportunity for us in how we move product through the shop, how we flow things, how we design our processes. So those are going to facilitate us in the future to be the most cost-effective and the fastest provider out there.
In the design, that was one of the key focuses, is making sure that everything we were doing was not just for aesthetics, but for the safety of the employee.
It's been a really dynamic management of change to make everything come together, and as the Health, Safety, Environmental Coordinator, each of those aspects were things that we had to look at in terms of the planning, make sure that we had the necessary safeguards in place for our people, make sure that we were dealing with our environmental issues in accordance with regulations, and that we all remained healthy.
Safe Start has been a fundamental shift in how our employees and how our leadership views safety.
In terms of the reception and the culture, hearing from the people that it was well received, that it was liked. I've also heard a bit of anecdotal stuff from the guys about the improvements with quality, with production, maintenance, downtime, those sorts of things.
I really like the program. I went through it 3 different times as an instructor, and I really bought into it because it empowers the actual individual to take care of controlling their safety.
Because of that safety, people really pay attention to what they're doing. There's a lot of attention to detail, there's a lot of understanding about cause and effect, and that's what it takes to really be great.
The first thing you see when you walk in the building is a big sign right now that reads 307 days since the last injury, and that's a big thing here.
For me, if anything, it's actually much more impressive, our safety record, to have what it is right now, considering all the changes that we're going through and all the movement, all the moving pieces that are happening.
We moved ourselves. The workforce moved, and we have not had one scratch, not one injury. So that says a lot too for how they treat safety here, and that's a big part of who we are now too.
We'd bring in new crew members or another crew or different folks or a different piece of the project that would require a different crew. They sort of trained us on the spot. They were always willing to do the toolbox training or the set down. So we found that pretty refreshing.
The culture here is well communicated, I can tell. From an outsider that goes to many companies and does the same thing, to come in here and see how well the mission is communicated, the culture of everyone's in this together was well communicated.
It's such a huge transformation that it forces each and every one of us to kind of get out of that day-to-day habit. Here's how I do my job. This is how we've always done it.
A lot of the movement that we've made to different parts of Forest Park have made us realize that there were things that we did that was taking a little more time and a little more man hours than what was needed.
You start fresh, you can build it up, and you can make changes and make it the way you want it to be, and that's kind of what we're going through now.
This process has forced people to start thinking and looking at what they do, their role, how they can do their job in a better way to contribute to the direction that the company is moving.
For us to win in the future, we have to be the most competitive from a cost perspective. We have to be someone who is extremely efficient at what we do, and that's who's going to ultimately win in the game that we play in the market.
Let's get it done faster, let's get it done better, let's reduce the errors, let's really focus on keeping our employees safe, and every aspect of that was brought in, down to the lighting in the high bay, down to arm's length at workstations. Everything was thought through.
The idea of continuous improvement, trying to always look for the best ways to do things. It's more about fostering an attitude of teamwork amongst all of the employees, and it really has made the process quite enjoyable.
The Shark Tank was a great example in my mind of how some employees in the company really took what really was an idea and took it way past the original idea and what it was going to become. And we've used the Shark Tank in the ticket to bring the employees along around the thought of innovation and give them an opportunity to sort of express their ideas, and it was fantastic. I mean, I was just blown away by not only the ideas, but also the energy that it created in the organization.
We're actually taking ownership. It's our business. It's just not about management versus employees. It's the whole shebang. Everybody's involved.
The higher-ups have always been very open-minded about letting us, get our ideas out there. And it may not be the best, but a lot of times they'll let us roll with it. And if it doesn't work, then okay, we backpedal and we find, plan B, plan C, however many times it takes to make it better for everyone.
If you don't have strong leadership in an organization, you can do all the rebranding and moving and saying you're going to do stuff. But if the leaders aren't all on the same page and they're not all leading folks correctly, it can undermine a lot of what you're doing. So we put a lot of time and energy in developing a very tailored leadership program called The Ticket that we rolled out in May of last year to train all of the leadership in the organization.
During this process, not only has the facility grown, but our people as leaders have grown. Those in each area of our business have stepped forward and taken on leadership roles and demonstrated a willingness to not only just do the work, the everyday work, but actually be involved, take on additional responsibility.
Change is not easy. None of us like it. But that is what this is about. It's about change, right? To ask and have people who've worked at one location for 30 years of their life pick up and move and go into a completely different environment, to have people get on board with that is big, but it also says a lot about our people, that they're willing to change, they're willing to take the challenge.
Most everyone realizes this is really good for the company, and with change there's going to be a lot of difficulty in adjusting and getting used to things, but all in all, I think a lot of people are excited about what's about to happen, what's happening now.
I've seen employees that I never thought would help assemble a table coming in asking, hey, do you have anything new that we can put together, or having an input or an idea about something. And for me and the design team, being able to take that and say, that's a really good idea. Let's see how we can work that in, so that everyone felt like they had a piece or they contributed to the new space.
Once we moved over to this facility, we have empowered them to make those decisions. Did this plan work? Did how we lay out the shop, is that working for you? And actually we found that there were some things that we needed to change. And the guys and gals on the floor, they're the ones that we've allowed, okay, make this work for you now.
We're almost through phase one, which is the move of the Pratt jets to Heritage Park and PT6 to Love Field. Second and third phase perhaps will be construction of test cell complex and a new building.
The move went very well, the physical move, but then the acceptance in this facility from the other facility was just outstanding, and it's made our transition so much easier. And I've even commented to people how it feels like we've been here forever.
If we can do all that in 8 weeks, we can do anything.
It's exciting. It's exciting to see that they are willing to change. This was a big jump for everybody, and to take that risk and that chance was big. But I think everybody's on board with it. And like I said, it's an exciting challenge. You know, it's got its challenges, but it's fun.
This SeaChange is all about winning. It's all about putting us in a position that's going to take the company forward and make our company great for the next 80 years.